so welcome to How to Roll 20. I am the Dean of Rock. This really is just a video for my players in the Mass Effect game that we're running in the Cypher System. But if it helps anybody else fill out a Cypher System character sheet in Roll 20, then cool. Good. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get our character sheet pulled up here. We're just going to jump right in. Right on in there. Yep, there we go. Okie dokie. This one's already filled out, but I'm just going to go through, kind of go over each little step, why everything is filled in the way that it is, and we'll take a look at that. So, first thing, we've got our character, so we got to put our name in here. So I just went with whatever the Roll20 name was, like I do. So you weave Unake, sure. You weave Unake is this person's name. They are a rugged Croghan Vanguard who rides the lightning. And so we're just gonna do the character sheet in that order. We're gonna start with rugged, which is in the discovery book. Alright, so he's a rugged Croghan Vanguard. So rugged, he's a nature lover, accustomed to living rough, putting your wits against the elements. Most likely he's a skilled hunter. Let's see, years of living in the wild have left their mark with a worn countenance, wild hair, or scars. He definitely has scars. I don't know about hair. Krogans don't have hair. That would be weird. So with that, let's see, it gives us a few skills and an ability. Alright, so the first thing we get is you're trained in all tasks involving climbing, jumping, running, and swimming. So with the Cypher System, I know I've talked to some of you about this. With the Cypher System, there's not like a set list of skills. It's more or less you're good at certain things, and then you can kind of label that however you wish. So for this, it's climbing, jumping, running, and swimming. So I'm just calling that athletics. So I added athletics over here in my skills box. Athletics will be might-based, and I am trained in it. So I changed the level to trained. Alright, the next thing that I got, skill, you're trained in all tasks involving training, riding, or placating natural animals. So, again, just kind of labeled that animal handling. That is an intellect-based stat, and then I am trained in it. Let's see, the next skill I have, you are trained in all tasks involving identifying or using natural plants. So I just called that the botany skill. Again, it is intellect, and I am trained in it. So you just select the stat, and then what your training is. Let's see. The next thing I have is an inability. You have no social graces and prefer animals to people. Any task involving charm, persuasion, etiquette, or deception is hindered. So I just put that as positive social. It is intellect based, and I have an inability in that skill. Let's see, the next thing I have for being rugged is additional equipment. You carry an explorer's pack, so I've added the explorer's pack in the equipment tab over here. Let's see, if you already have one, blah 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 blah, and an extra ranged weapon. That I actually did not see when I put this together originally, so I guess I need to add a gun. So I'm just gonna come over here to weapon. I don't know what I'm gonna give him yet. Give him a shotgun. He's a Croghan. I'm just gonna type shotgun for now. I don't remember what's on the weapons list. Shotgun I have listed. Well, I'll tell you what, whenever we get over to the weapons. Actually, do I have a handout for that yet? I do not. I'll do that later. But anyway, so you would put in the damage here. If it has a clip, whatever the ammunition is here. The ammunition type would be projectile. And then you can put a description if there are any special details about it or anything like that. And then we're just going to do this. You do the same thing for the attack. So you just come over here. So I'm just going to put shotgun. It is a weapon, so it uses my speed. We're just going to say it's 6. I'm pretty sure I have shotgun listed as a heavy weapon. Let's see. Skilled. I am trained in it. Short distance. It does not cost me anything. Alright. Alright, and so that is what I get for being rugged. My initial link to the starting adventure. So basically you just have 4 options. You can roll a d4 or just pick one. Whenever we do a session 0 though, we're going to go through and figure out everybody's ties. So you don't necessarily have to do anything with this right now because we can figure that out during session 0. So the next thing, so I'm a rugged Croghan. So we did add species to the Cypher system for this. It's just kind of an extended descriptor. So for that, as a Croghan, toughness, I get a +2 to my might pool, which I've already added in. Let's see, hardiness, you are trained in might defense. So I went ahead over here, since hardiness is an ability, added it over here. It is an enabler, which means it's passive. It's always going. And trained in might defense for the description here. Let's see, warlike, you begin with 1 additional warrior ability. You gain this even if you are not a warrior type. So warlock, 1 soldier ability. Let's see, combat prowess. It's not something I get from being a Croghan. Confrontational, I do get from being a Croghan. So you suffer a 1-step increase to the difficulty of all positive social interactions, which would just go in up here. So basically, it just kind of adds. So basically, I'll have an inability, and then I will also suffer a 1-step penalty. So if I'm trying to negotiate with a level 3 human merchant, it's whenever I go to interact with them, they count as level 4, for the sake of me trying to roll, which is no bueno. Alright, so that's what I get for being a Croghan. I am also a Vanguard, is my class, which is going to be modeled after the glaive. So, where did my book go? Glaive, there you are. Alright, so as a 1st tier glaive, my effort is 1. It's already set up there. Let's see, fighter, you have a might edge of 1, check. A speed edge of 1, check. And an intellect edge of 0, check. Combat prowess, okay, so this is where the combat prowess comes from. You add +1 damage to 1 type of attack of your choice, melee attacks or ranged attacks. Pretty sure I went with melee because he's a Croghan, and if he's not headbutting people, something's wrong. Let's see, next we get trained in armor, which allows us to wear armor for long periods of time and reduces the speed effort cost while wearing armor. And for the sake of this tutorial, we're not going to get into that. We will go over that a little bit later, though. Let's see. Weapons, you can use any weapon without penalty. Let's see. Choose one of the following skills which you haven't already been trained. Balancing, climbing, jumping, or swimming. Well, I've got climbing, jumping, and swimming because of my athletics up here, so I'm just going to add balancing to the list. And balancing would be a speed talent, not a might talent. Alright, and then starting equipment, so then you just go through whatever's on the list here, add it to your equipment. So like I got a shield, I got some armor, let's see, 2 weapons, or 1 weapon and a shield, so I went with the Omni Blade and the shield. And then I got the shotgun from earlier, from getting a ranged weapon. Alright, and then your ciphers we'll go over in session 0, figure out what ciphers you get. And that is how you do your type. Then we're going to go to the focus. So his focus rides the lightning. So we're going to get that pulled up real quick. Alright, so rides the lightning. So the first thing that you choose with your focus is your connection. So you choose one of the following. Again, it's a 4-part. You just either roll a d4 or just pick one that you like, or because we're going to be doing this in session 0, we can kind of just figure that out, discuss that among yourselves. But basically what it does, it just connects you to another player character in some way, so that there's some tie-in as to why you guys are together. You get additional equipment, so you just add that to your equipment box. And then with Rides of Lightning, so then you usually get some kind of special ability. So he has electrical abilities, so if you have abilities that would normally use force or other energy, they instead use electricity, blah 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 blah. It does give you some suggestions for minor effect and major effect in your focus, which is for things like when you roll a crit. So when you roll a 19, you can do a minor effect, and when you roll a 20, you can do a major effect. So it just kind of gives you a suggestion of like something you could do. You can make it up. It does not have to be what's on here. You can absolutely make that up, but you do have to kind of keep it grounded within reason, which is why they have those suggestions there. So as tier 1, I get 2 abilities. I get Shock and I get Charge. So Shock is basically I can do a shock attack with my hands, and then Charge, I basically can charge an artifact or a device by building up the electrical energy in my hand, which is pretty cool. Alright, and so once you plug those in, so we've got Shock here, we've got Charge, got our Shock Attack up here. Shock Attack. Sounds like I'm trying to say Shark Attack. Alright. I also have an inability with technology. I get that from somewhere, I don't remember where. Well, whatever. But anyway, so basically your skills go here. You just add a skill. Again, you can label it whatever you want to. So you can have a skill called Tomfoolery if you want to. It's intellect based, and it just gives you, I don't know, you're trained in things involving like persuasion and deception. Tomfoolery. You know, so just take whatever it gives you. Usually it'll give you like a few things that you're good at, and you can just kind of lump them into one thing, like with the athletics. You just lump them into one skill. You don't have to make a separate skill for each one. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Let's see. Your attacks, so you have to do, whatever weapons you have, you'll add here, and then you create an attack for it. And that's really simple. You just put the name of the attack, what stat it uses, and then what the damage is, whether or not you're trained in using that attack, and then whatever the distance is. If it's melee, it's going to be immediate. If it's a ranged weapon, it's either going to be short, long, or very long, obviously. If it's a spell, or like a power, so like Shock is a power, it costs me 1 intellect to do. So I would put that under cost. Alright. So that's your attacks, your weapons. So your ciphers, once we start giving out ciphers, they will go into the cipher box here. And the way that that's going to work is ciphers are not going to be, it's going to be a little bit different. They're basically going to be a program that you can put into your Omni tool so that it still fits the aesthetic of Mass Effect. It's kind of a one-time use Omni tool upgrade that you can plug into your Omni tool to use at your leisure. Let's see, your background will go here. If you want to put it there, you don't have to. As long as you send it to me, I am happy. Let's see, and then your artifacts will go down here. That's pretty much the entire character sheet. The damage track is for, as you take damage. So, if you're healthy, all of your bars are full, you're hale. If one of these drops to 0, you move to impaired. If 2 of them drop to 0, you move to debilitated, and if all 3 drop to 0, you dead. You are dead, sir. Alright, and that's pretty much it. From there, we'll level up as we go, and that's how you fill out the character sheet. Hopefully that helps. Obviously, if you have questions, let me know. Or if I kind of skipped over something or didn't hit something that you weren't familiar with, or that you were familiar with, whatever. Yeah, if I missed something, just let me know. Or if you have questions, let me know. But hopefully this helps. Alright, and bye-bye.